YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As if it wasn't obvious enough as to who Donald Trump serves, as to who Elon Musk serves, as to who really is pulling the strings behind these politicians. Well, Elon Musk once again has tweeted out in the last 24 hours or so a clue that should get people to say, wait a second, he is a part of the New World Order. I mean, you could just think about all the things that Elon Musk is involved in, and a light bulb should go off in your head, and you should say to yourself, wow, that's a problem. These are all New World Order agendas, including the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which I'll get into later in the video. But Elon Musk tweeted out Novus Ordo Seclorum. And if you're not familiar, that's on the back of the dollar bill, you know, right underneath that pyramid with the all-seeing eye capstone on top. You know, the symbol of the Illuminati of the New World Order. That's what's written directly underneath it. You know, pretty much everybody out there who's a conservative has heard of the New World Order. Everybody out there who's a conservative thinks that they're well aware to all the quote-unquote conspiracies going on, but they're not getting sucked into the actual conspiracy. It's amazing the dual reality that we're living in, right? The conservatives and the Democrats both living under complete hypnosis, and neither side can actually see it. All they see is the other political party as being the bad guy. They don't realize that they're all under a spell, and the same people are working together to cast this spell over them. So if you don't know what Novus Ordo Seclorum means, it means New Order of the Ages, or a New World Order. And it's absolutely incredible. It shows you what a double standard. It shows you how these Trump supporters only see what they want to see and only hear what they want to hear. Because had Joe Biden tweeted this out, had Joe Biden written something along the lines of New World Order, as he said many times in the past, we've heard Joe Biden and the Democrats talk about a liberal world order. We see all the conservatives in an uproar about a New World Order, stopping a New World Order. We can't have a New World Order. But Elon Musk literally just said that him and Donald Trump, because he tweeted a picture of them along with one of his children, and said, Novus Ordo Seclorum, the New Order of the Ages. And this is a common theme, which shows you that it's really happening right in front of our faces, and it shows you how the wool has really been pulled over the eyes of conservatives and Christians, right? You might remember at the Republican National Convention, Tim Scott, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I covered this back when it happened. They were speaking, and the backdrop behind them was literally Novus Ordo Seclorum. They put that up on the screen deliberately. Nobody was saying, hey, you know, nationalists in America, conservatives in America are very aware of the New World Order. We probably should have put that up on the screen. Well, they know that these people are under such hypnosis that they'll refuse to see it or believe it, or they'll, in fact, call us conspiracy theorists for pointing out that both sides are controlled because they're so attached to their party. So they were on screen, and it was right behind them. In fact, it was so in our faces at the Republican National Convention as they were showing us Novus Ordo Seclorum, you know, the New World Order, New Order of the Ages, that even while they were doing that, they were pulling away and showing Make America Wealthy once again. And this is to a Christian audience out there. That is a Christian audience that should be aware of the thousands of Bible verses about money. You know, famous ones like Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. You cannot serve God and money. And that shows you the mindset that these people have, right? They're caring so much about wealth. Make America wealthy once again. While we tell you a new order of the ages is being established right in front of your faces while we pretend to be Christians and bait you in into thinking that we're all Christians too. Come and support us, right? I mean, how many times have I showed you Donald Trump say things about, oh yeah, he suddenly believes in God, right? He says good people go to heaven, bad people go to hell.
But religion, it gives you some hope. Gee, if I'm good, I'm going to heaven.
Do you believe in heaven?
I do. If I'm good, I'm going to heaven. And if I'm bad, I'm going to someplace else, like over there, right? If I'm good, I'm going to heaven. And if I'm bad, I'm going to someplace else, like over there, right?
Those should be things that make people say, wait a minute. That's not what the Bible says. Good people don't go to heaven. Bad people don't go to hell. We're saved through salvation in Jesus Christ. That's it. That's the end of the story. That whole mindset, good people go to heaven, bad people go to hell, is a lot like what the Satanists believe. Their good deeds outweigh their bad deeds. That's the Baphomet's motto. So again, every time these people slip up in front of them and it's pointed out, they make excuses for them because they have had their lives messed with so much by the government and government overreach that they continue to put their hope and faith in man instead of putting it in God. And they don't seem to understand. The majority of these people who come over to my channel don't get it. And what they don't get is that by me speaking against Trump, it doesn't mean that I support other Republicans, doesn't mean I support Kamala Harris. They don't understand that the problem with the lesser of two evils theory is that prevents actual revolution and actual change. If you're following and believing in somebody who's working for both sides, who's working for the globalists, then you're falling right into line and you're being brainwashed and eventually led off of a cliff, which is what Trump and Musk and all these characters are doing. Again, I can't emphasize enough. There's this notion of Trump's the everyday man, right? Elon Musk is the everyday man. Elon Musk is worth $260 billion. He's worth more than Bezos. He's worth more than Gates. Donald Trump is worth $4.5 billion, they claim, right? And it's the old motto from Albert Pike. Whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him. And that's the purpose Trump serves. It's a controlled leader. It prevents the people from rising up against tyranny and actually getting brainwashed into eventually tyranny. They don't even see it happening in front of their faces. And the most dangerous thing here is this notion that these people continually convince themselves that these Republicans are working for them, right? We see them constantly talk about Klaus Schwab, talk about the New World Order, the World Economic Forum, right? But why is it when we see people like, I don't know, Donald Trump going to the World Economic Forum, talking about how great Klaus Schwab is, that they can't see what's actually going on? I mean, Klaus Schwab and Donald Trump are friends.
Well, we've loved it. We think it's a great country, a beautiful country, and we have had a tremendous success.
Yeah, great success.
And this gentleman, as you know, he's done a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more.
See, they see stuff like that and they make excuses because they don't want to believe. Again, it's like a person who's in a very bad relationship and you see them from the outside and you say, how are they still with that person? Everybody knows somebody, whether it's yourself or somebody else that you know that's been in a relationship, and you look and you're like, oh man. Or if you were in one, once you got out, you said, I can't believe I didn't get out earlier. I can't believe I didn't see the signs. That's what this is. They're convincing themselves that these people are not a part of the same New World Order. They could go hang out with Klaus Schwab. You know, Elon Musk is another one. He was just within the last 2 months at the Global Citizen Awards. How much more in your face could that get? Global Citizen Award, right? Global Citizen, globalists. And who's standing 2 people down from him? Klaus Schwab is. What do you think that they, he's like, well, we were there, in passing, and I didn't say anything to them. They're probably standing next to each other originally, and they said, hey, move down a few. We don't want people to get too suspicious. And then they probably laughed and said, nah, they still won't figure it out. These people are so dumb. We could tickle their ears all day, and they'll just kiss our rear ends, and they'll eventually do what we tell them to do, which is Elon Musk's role in all of this. Because if you're not paying attention to what's going on, okay, everybody out there should know, right? Let's take a step back. Let's take a deep breath. Klaus Schwab, right? Everybody talks about the World Economic Forum and the New World Order being one and the same, okay? What is the thing that they're talking about when they talk about the Great Reset? They're talking about the Great Reset and a fourth industrial revolution, right? On the flip side of that, if you hear the word fourth industrial revolution, look what Elon Musk is doing in front of your face. He's creating humanoid robots. He just had his We Robot event. At the same time, he's running human trials on Neuralink, getting technology inside of people, being able to program and control human beings. But these people will just say, oh, it's too much of a stretch, right? Just like Donald Trump talking about how he wants 6G internet as soon as possible. 6G, right? Are these people familiar with everything we've all been talking about, with the potion, with 5G and 6G and technology getting inside the body? Do they not see what purpose Trump and Musk serve here? They have to convince conservatives and Christians into this. And that's what their purpose is. They're tickling their ears talking about inflation and how prices are going to go down and everyone's going to be wealthy again, while they're not talking about the danger in the room, the technology they're trying to implement, because the fourth industrial revolution runs on this same technology that these people are implementing right in front of their faces, but they're too distracted because they're getting their ears tickled about how ridiculous and how crazy one side is, pretending to be beacons of freedom of speech, right? As if nobody's getting censored on Twitter. I mean, give me a break. Go over there and talk about the synagogue of Satan and see how fast your Twitter account gets suspended. And if you don't think there's a tie-in between Musk and the fourth industrial revolution, okay, and you think they're not one and the same. Elon Musk reposted this, okay? Somebody tweeted out about the We Robot event and said, I've covered tech for 25 years. What I saw yesterday in LA was a game changer. This is the new chapter, the new book for Tesla. Tesla is front and center of the fourth industrial revolution. The same fourth industrial revolution that Klaus Schwab wants to implement. If you didn't see Elon Musk and this nightmare of a world that these psychopaths are trying to create with technology, this is from his We Robot event. And keep in mind how he talks about artificial intelligence and letting the demons in. And then, of course, goes into, he does that in one interview. And then on the flip side, what does he do? He starts bringing out humanoid robots, telling us that we should have them in our homes. We can have our own butlers. And these suckers don't even see what's going on in front of them with this fallen angel technology.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Didn't work out. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
Robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks. Whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe two, and then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. One of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots. So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar.
You got it. You win. Can't beat a robot. I just don't touch it. Okay.
Optimus.
People here today.
It's insane. It's even talking.
Say hi to my friend John. John? Where's John?
Right here.
Oh, hello, John.
How are you?
How you doing?
That's crazy. I'm talking to a robot. From San Jose. Probably from where you were born in Silicon Valley.
Wonderful. Where do you live in San Jose? Do you live in Almond Valley or do you live in Santa Teresa area?
No, I live in Los Gatos.
Los Gatos. Oh, wonderful. Very
Yeah.
nice area.
Where do you live?
Beautiful hiking I hear out there.
There is. Where do you live?
I live in Palo Alto at the current moment.
Figures. Yeah,
Yes.
this is awesome.
That's where they train us, that's where we get our builds, and that's where we work with a wonderful group of people.
What's the hardest thing about being a robot?
Trying to learn how to be as human as you guys are. And that's something I try harder to do every day, and I hope that you will help us become that.
So again, the fourth industrial revolution. That's what Elon Musk is rolling out for conservatives without technically telling them that that's what he's conditioning people into accepting. Neuralink, all of these robots. Of course, don't forget Elon Musk's role, not just with technology, but also with Tesla and the electric vehicles, not to mention Tesla, named after Nikola Tesla, and things like the earthquake machine, which people don't correlate Elon Musk's connection to weather modification and weather control, right? Have you heard Donald Trump come out and talk about this? Can you imagine if Trump gets put in as president and we know he's been selected already, but let's say he doesn't get assassinated and they continue to hit us with weaponized weather. All of a sudden, are conservatives going to stop pointing a finger at actual weather modification because Trump's president and say, oh, he's not doing it. The government's not. These are actually natural events that occur. They will. They'll convince themselves of whatever so that they can worship the ground that Trump and Musk walk on. And that scares me when it comes to the mark of the beast. But the fourth industrial revolution is being retweeted by Elon Musk. I pointed this out already. AI governance, okay? The fourth industrial revolution. Let me just play a clip for you again of Klaus Schwab talking about this, and then let your brain start, working and thinking about the Neuralink and technology going inside your body and who's going to be doing it and who's working with Klaus directly.
The fourth industrial revolution will impact our lives completely. It will not only change how we communicate, how we produce, how we consume, it will change actually us, our own identity. And of course gives life to such policies and developments like smart traffic, smart government, smart cities. What we will see is that everything will be integrated into an ecosystem driven by big data and driven particularly by close cooperation also of governments with business, civil society. And this revolution will come at a breathtaking speed. It will be like a tsunami. And actually, it's not just a digital revolution, it's digital, of course physical, with nanotechnology, but it's also biological. And so three dimension provides a particular force to this revolution. So what the World Economic Forum is doing is to promote this public-private cooperation to master the fourth industrial revolution.
In this year's conference in January, mastering the fourth industrial revolution, gene editing.
Exactly.
Opening a whole new horizon for medical science.
And you see, the difference of this fourth
industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, just as an example, it's you who are changed. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
The fourth industrial revolution has one big challenge. It is the holding out of the middle class.
So again, as you hear about the technology changing what a human being is, and you hear that Elon Musk is changing what a human being is, he's literally mixing iron and clay by putting this tech inside the body. He's running brain chip experiments. The FDA is approving Elon Musk's technology. And this is so important. This is why I pointed out many times about Neuralink's rivals, okay? Because they've marketed these characters like Musk and Gates to play into the conservative and the Democratic side. After the potion came out and all of this hatred for Bill Gates was circulating around, they realized we're not going to be able to convince people of this technology aspect of what we need them to be on board with the AI governance. They're going to link it to Gates. Then all of a sudden, Musk became a conservative. And then all of a sudden, there's dual Neuralinks. There's Bezos and Gates' Neuralink, which is marketed towards Democrats and liberals because they hate Musk, and the conservatives hate Bill Gates. And then there's Elon Musk and Trump's Neuralink. You see the common thing here, the technology and getting inside of your body? That's what it's all about, changing what it is to be a human being. And it all goes back to that tweet, the New World Order, right? Him tweeting Novus Ordo Seclorum, New Order of the Ages. And look who's going to usher it in. The same people who are supposed to be draining the swamp, the same people who are supposed to be saving you from a New World Order, are in fact bringing you into a New World Order. And on top of all those things, what's amazing that most of these conservatives don't pay attention to is that Elon Musk, even as recently as February of this year, was talking about how we needed a carbon tax. A carbon tax. All of this stuff eventually goes right into climate change and carbon tax and carbon emissions and your carbon footprint, which is slavery. And Elon Musk is on board. But his job right now is to convince you to go along with his cool new tech. And really what society should be doing is ridding these people of their power by not voting, by not walking around with stickers that say, I vote, by literally disengaging from government, because that's how you take their power away. And then remove yourselves from technology and see how fast they can implement this New World Order. Well, they can't. Get off Gmail, get off your phone. Guess what? Once you start doing that, they don't have control over you. It's all through the digital realm and the digital space that they secure their globalist government. Just think, when we talk about globalism, we talk about all the countries connected, right? You'd say, how in the world will we connect all the countries, right? They're all the way over there. But then when you think about the internet, you think about Facebook and their mottos about, connecting everyone everywhere. Then you start going, oh, wait a minute, right? Through technology, they could bring about a new world order. You wouldn't need everything would be through technology. Your bank, what you say online, everything, what you buy, how your locks on your home will be through your phone. How you flush your toilet, turn the shower on, the electricity through your phone, your air conditioner through your phone, right? Eventually, of course, this is all through your skin because they're going to be using telepathy to be doing all this stuff, which is a form of witchcraft, by the way. If you're trying to figure out how all this stuff works with technology and energy harvesting, it's all spiritual. That's what this is. It's sorcery. How do Christians and conservatives not see this? How do they not? I tell you, I understand sometimes that if you let your guard down, you could be pulled into some of this stuff because you'd be so exhausted. You could say, you know what? At least Trump's going to be president now, and I don't have to worry about paying $10 for butter anymore. Everything will be a little bit cheaper. That's the mindset that everybody has right now after Trump's been selected. Little do they know that the New World Order, if Trump isn't fake assassinating, they go forward, it's forming through Donald Trump, the last president, so to speak. It'll form through him because conservatives have to be on board. I talked about this dual reality we're living in, right? The Dems and the Republicans are living in their own world, but they're technically the same thing. They view each other the same, right? Each side thinks the other side's extreme. Each side thinks the other side is completely nuts. But don't forget about smart cities and then Trump talking about how we need freedom cities. They're literally marketing the same thing to both sides. It's the same thing. It's global communism. It's just viewed differently. And they make sure they go out of their way to say, fascism with Trump because they don't want conservatives to realize that it's actually really a form of communism that they're into. And they're like, what, this guy's nuts. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Trump is great. Everything he's doing is great. He's not talking about gender ideologies and all this insane stuff. Well, why do you think they've gaslit you so much with gender ideologies? They've driven you insane by talking about stuff that shouldn't even be addressed. The fact that Congress was addressing what a man and a woman, this is stuff that shouldn't even be talked about. You should be put in an asylum for talking about some of the things that they talk about in Congress, right? But they've gotten you emotionally into it. You see people out there using pronouns. It drives people nuts because it's not sane. So it makes it easier for them to say, you know what? Lesser of two evils. I'm going with Trump. I'm going with Trump. And meanwhile, they don't realize that the mark of the beast is on the horizon. And this type of technology, I know, not everybody out there believes my take on the mark of the beast. There's people that believe Sunday law. I've said this many times. Okay, there's really, the ideologies on Sunday law do not make sense with the mark of the beast, but go ahead. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe. But when you look at the technology, being able to buy and sell and where we're headed with these digital implants, which don't have to be, brain surgery, they can implant it, inject it into you. We should all be looking at this saying, the mark of the beast is very near. You won't be able to buy or sell. Well, you won't be able to buy or sell, right? Without doing things digitally, you can't separate yourself from the digital ID and everything else and expect them to take cash or check or change anymore, right? So we're headed towards it. And people like Musk are implementing it. And everyone's going to trust it because they think that Donald Trump is a Christian, despite everybody out there not doing what they should be doing, which is knowing that a tree is known for its fruits. And Donald Trump's fruits expose itself. But they can't see that because they have their blinders on. All of these people, the Republicans and Democrats, they're all working together. It's the illusion, and it's you investing and voting that empowers them. And then you continue to support these people, and these people are going to lead you right off the cliff, right into the belly of the beast, so to speak, right? So Elon Musk tweets out, Novus Ordo Seclorum. I mean, how much more obvious could it be? You say, some people are like, what does that mean, right? And you go, well, back of the dollar bill, right? And they're like, oh, right, what's on the, oh, it's just the Illuminati pyramid, right? With the all-seeing eye of Lucifer on top. And he's quoting it, right? But, oh, no, it doesn't mean anything. He's just a fan of the dollar. Oh, no, it literally means New Order of the Ages, which is really just another way of saying a new world order. Pretty unbelievable. How in our faces it is. Elon Musk is ushering in the fourth industrial revolution right in front of their faces, and they don't even realize it. And Elon Musk is even tweeting out that he's at the center of the fourth industrial revolution. And who invented the fourth industrial revolution? Oh, right, Klaus Schwab did, right? The globalists that everyone's trying to take down. Pretty unreal just how blind most of these people are. It is right in front of us. And it just proves, right, that, like I said in the very beginning of the video, when we see these libs say stuff about a new world order, we all call it out. We're like, look, they're literally telling us there's a new world order coming. How are people not seeing it and waking up, right? That's what it's been the last 10 years. I mean, this stuff goes back to George Bush in the 90s. Like, they've openly been talking about it, right? But I remember, in 2016 when I started talking about this stuff on here, I would just so much be trying to get Democrats to wake up and say, look, they're saying a new world order. And then I'm realizing, wait, these Democrats want globalism. They want a new world order, right? Well, then when you actually get the conservatives saying things like new world order, they're so blind that they just go, that's not what they mean, right? But a couple of years ago, or even if tomorrow Biden or Harris tweeted something out about a new world order, they go nuts. But when their own friends, right? They're in such a psychosis. They think these people know, they know them, that they're friends with them. They follow them on these social media accounts, so they think they could trust them. It's incredible. This is a deep psychosis, a very, very deep psychosis. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.